Zach Crawley 100 in 86 balls versus Pakistan. Hardik Pandya 100 in 86 balls versus Sri Lanka. Mitchell Johnson 100 in 86 balls versus South Africa. Adam Gilchrist 100 in 86 balls versus New Zealand. Wasim Akram 100 in 86 balls versus Sri Lanka. Chris Gaines 100 in 86 balls versus Zimbabwe. Kapil Dev 100 in 86 balls versus England. Ian Botham 100 in 86 balls versus Australia. Ian Botham 100 in 86 balls versus Australia. Ben Stokes 100 in 85 balls versus New Zealand. Shikhar Dhawan 100 in 85 balls versus Australia. Joseph Darling 100 in 85 balls versus England. Clive Lloyd 100 in 85 balls versus India. Matthew Hayden 100 in 84 balls versus Zimbabwe. Adam Gilchrist 100 in 84 balls versus Zimbabwe. Adam Gilchrist 100 in 84 balls versus India. Bruce Taylor 100 in 83 balls versus West Indies. David Warner 100 in 82 balls versus West Indies. Daniel Vittori 100 in 82 balls versus Zimbabwe. Brian Lara 100 in 82 balls versus Australia. Ross Taylor 100 in 81 balls versus Australia. Kamran Akmal 100 in 81 balls versus India. Mahila Javardhane 100 in 81 balls versus Bangladesh. Harry Brook 100 in 80 balls versus Pakistan. Sarfraz Ahmed 100 in 80 balls versus Australia. Chris Gayle 100 in 80 balls versus England. Chris Gayle 100 in 79 balls versus South Africa. David Warner 100 in 78 balls versus Pakistan. Brendan McCullum 100 in 78 balls versus Pakistan. Virender Sehwag 100 in 78 balls versus West Indies. Shahid Afridi 100 in 78 balls versus India. Shahid Afridi 100 in 78 balls versus West Indies. Johnny Bairstow 100 in 77 balls versus New Zealand. Brian Lara 100 in 77 balls versus Pakistan. Gilbert Jessop 100 in 76 balls versus Australia. AB de Villiers 100 in 75 balls versus India. Brendan McCullum 100 in 74 balls versus Sri Lanka. Mohammad Azharuddin 100 in 74 balls versus South Africa. Kapil Dev 100 in 74 balls versus Sri Lanka. Majid Khan 100 in 74 balls versus New Zealand. Colin D. Grandholm 100 in 71 balls versus West Indies. Roy Fredericks 100 in 71 balls versus Australia. Chris Gayle 100 in 70 balls versus Australia. David Warner 100 in 69 balls versus India. Shiv Narayan Chandrapal 100 in 69 balls versus Australia. Jack Gregory 100 in 67 balls versus South Africa. Adam Gilchrist 100 in 57 balls versus England. Misbah-ul Haq 100 in 56 balls versus Australia. Vivian Richards 100 in 56 balls versus England. Brendan McCullum 100 in 54 balls versus Australia. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon.